My annual Kansas trip is something that my buddy John and I look forward to every year. This was our third year in a row drawing tags. Our first visit back in 2020 was a learning experience, but last year things came together.
Shot looked a little bit back. Here's first blood. Alrighty, tracked this thing 200 yards. My buddy John just congratulated me. He saw it down here in the woods. Let's go get him. Alrighty guys, well here he is. My 2021 public land Kansas 8-pointer.
What an amazing experience, and John was able to tag out the next day. 2021 is going to be hard to beat. We make the 20-hour trip from Pennsylvania to Kansas each year in hopes of laying eyes on and possibly tagging a buck of a lifetime. Pennsylvania can grow big deer, but it's much harder to find older age class bucks due to the higher number of hunters in Pennsylvania. This, combined with a much needed mental break from everyday life, make this yearly trip all the more worth it. The past 2 years we hunted Kansas in November, but due to work schedules, we decided to head down in October this year.
Alrighty guys, we made it to Kansas, and something always goes wrong. We pull into our campground and someone else is parked in our camping spot with a giant RV. So no one's home. They're probably out hunting. So we got situated, so we're gonna have to deal with that later, but going out to hang some cameras and start getting some intel.
We've learned that on these out-of-state DIY public land hunts, that the more scouting we do up front is worth more than just climbing into a tree and sitting in a spot that you know nothing about.
Got one camera out, a bunch of scrapes, nice scrape line. And gonna go check another spot. Last year and the year before, it was all scrape bag, so let's see what we see.
First thing we did was check out some of the public walk-in pieces that we have seen deer and deer sign on in the previous 2 years. We discovered that some of these spots where we had seen deer and sign in the past were very dry this year. Most of the Midwest was lacking in rain, and some of these properties really showed it. There were dried up creek beds and puddles where ponds were normally full. Sure enough, if the water wasn't there, the deer sign wasn't there either.
Checking down here to see if we got any tracks. Lots of cattle. It's tough, this is a pasture, so we got lots of cattle. All I see is cow tracks. I reckon. Like I said, is that a cow? I think it's a cow. Look at that.
The weather the first couple days were unseasonably warm, but a front was pushing through. And after a pile of rain on Monday, we were finally able to get in a tree Monday afternoon. I was hunting a property that we scouted a little bit last year. I set up partway up the hill, overlooking a pile of fresh scrapes. I was hoping to capitalize on bucks checking and freshening up these scrapes after the rain pushed through. However, I saw 0 deer. October 25th started off slow as well, but ended with me seeing a few does and fawns, as well as a pack of 4 to 5 coyotes at last light. At this point, I'd seen more deer at this property than I had in both of my previous 2 years in Kansas combined. My buddy John always says, in Kansas, you don't leave deer to find deer. So that, in combination with the surprisingly high amount of hunting pressure at the other hunting properties, at least for October in my opinion, we decided to continue to hunt this property in the afternoon.
Hey guys, it's the afternoon of the 26th. Back in the same spot I've been hunting the last couple days. Over this line of scrapes in this oak flat on this sort of shoulder to a hill. Saw 7 deer here this morning. No shooter bucks, but hoping they'll come here and check the scrapes tonight. Deer are on their feet today. My buddy saw some chasing going on. Small bucks pushing some does around. So it's starting. The next couple weeks are gonna get good, but fortunately only have another couple days here in Kansas. So hoping that maybe at the very least Big Buck will be on his feet to check some of these scrapes. And hoping the coyotes don't come in like they did last night, right at last light, and mess things up. So time will tell. Right here, one of the scrapes. Nice mainframe 8. I think he broke off a tine. I shot a buck.
Okay, so I gotta tell you something. Can I tell you this?
Yeah.
I had a feeling you were, because I just had the worst stretch of bad luck that you couldn't even imagine. And I didn't call you. And I was like, I'm gonna mess him up. We're getting a big buck. But, oh.
Hey, buddy, I shot a buck.
Yay!
Yeah. So, I think it had 8 points. The one was broken, but he's a really tall, really nice. He's a nice buck. He's a good buck. I love you, buddy. Alrighty, I reviewed the footage. It looks good. It looks like I'm thinking I could have double lunged him. Shot looked a little high, but at this angle, I think I probably caught the top of the one and center punched the other one. Might have hit the opposite shoulder. That might be why it didn't pass through. But I think I see blood down here, just from the binoculars. Shot was 21 yards. I ranged where it was. So, yeah, fingers crossed that there's a buck at the end of the blood trail.
He's done.
We got him. We got him.
There he is.
I knew I heard him crash. Oh man, dude.
Nice shot.
I don't know if that's when we got on camera or not.
Do you want me?
We got him. Yeah, he broke in G3 there.
Oh,
but we got him. Yeah, I knew it was broken. I didn't know how much. And he didn't go. He didn't go.
Not even 100, Ryan.
No, he probably went 60 from the shot.
Alrighty guys, here's my 2022 Kansas buck. My buddy John and I came down here again like we did last year and hit up some public land. Been hunting hard all week here. Found some active scrapes and good sign and set up on it. A couple days, not seeing any bucks, but you knew it was only a matter of time. And this guy came by, he worked a scrape. I wish I could have got that on camera, but it was on the other side of the tree. He ended up coming in behind me and giving me a beautiful 21-yard quartering away shot. And I think I double lunged him. We'll know here when we open them up, but went maybe 60 yards. I heard him crash. And yeah, couldn't ask for more. Yeah, couldn't ask for more. Kansas 2022 didn't disappoint. We made a lot of memories, brought home a buck in the truck, and learned a lot to build on for the next time we make it back to Kansas. Still have a pocket full of tags for Pennsylvania, so I hope to bring you along on some more hunts this year. Until next time, guys, bow hunt or die.
All right, well, that was a great hunt from our buddy Ryan Cornelius, all the way from PA out to Kansas. Second year in a row, he tagged a public land buck, doing something that myself and my buddy Matt Miller were incapable of doing on our canvas trip, a couple years ago. A couple things to talk about with Ryan's hunt that I think are really important. He mentioned scouting. And when you're going on these DIY out-of-state trips, the reality is, I get it. We all want to jump in a tree and hunt as much as possible. But the reality is, you almost want to spend more time scouting than you do hunting. And I know that sucks sometimes. Like, we want to be hunting and we feel like if we're not hunting that we're wasting time. But the reality is, especially when you're faced with a lot of pressure from other hunters, areas that you're not familiar with, like scout, and try to find that fresh sign. And I really like what Ryan did here. You know, he found a piece of property that had deer on it, number one. He mentioned a great thing that I've heard a lot, and a lot of us have made this mistake. Never leave deer to find deer. Sometimes we make this mistake of like, I've been sitting here for a couple of days, seeing some deer, but I want to try a new spot. I just want to try a change of scenery. Ryan stuck it out, you know, and what I think, you know, really made him stick it out was the fact that he had a massive amount of scrapes. You guys could see him from the footage. He had, I don't know, 8, 10, maybe more big scrapes, right? Not little ones, but big scrapes. He knew there was a buck in the area, and we're not talking like a 1.5-year old deer. We're talking an older age class deer is in there leaving that kind of sign. We're post a rain. We're into late October. We know those deer are going to be in there hitting those scrapes. It's only a matter of time. So Ryan keeps coming back day in and day out. He's got the right wind. He's got a good entry. He's got a good exit, so he's not buggering the place up. And those scrapes aren't getting freshened up. So he knows, like, as the days go by, it's only more and more likely until a buck finally shows up. And as we saw, a buck finally did show up. I don't know what it is with Ryan. He likes shooting these deer without stopping them. That's 2 years in a row. I did see he tried to stop the deer. Obviously, he wasn't having any of it. So Ryan, you know, let the shot go, and it was a perfect shot. Not criticizing at all, but I don't know, it just gives me a little anxiety when all of a sudden that arrow comes flying in before he stopped the deer. But man, congrats again to Ryan. That's 2 out of the last 3 years he's been able to tag a public land buck in Kansas. That's an amazing feat. So congrats to him. Looking forward to seeing what he can pull off out in PA this year. So guys, next up, we're going to jump into Ask the Experts. We're going to toss this one over to my buddy PJ, because when it comes to arrow weight questions, I'd throw him to PJ because I don't want to handle it. So William Frederick says, what arrow weight would you recommend for a kid or a woman that's hunting elk and only pulling 40 to 50 pounds? Let's see what he's got to say.
Hey guys, got a question today from a bow hunter who says, what arrow weight would you recommend for someone drawing 40 to 50 pounds for hunting elk? He mentioned specifically women and kids. So what arrow weight with those draw weights? So first off, the first thing I would check is very many states, the minimum draw weight for hunting elk is 45 pounds. So first off, that 40 pounds may be under what's legal. Just check the requirements for the state you're in. But as I said, most of the ones that I know of, 45 pounds is going to be the minimum legal draw weight. But then from 45 to 50 pounds, what arrow weight? My recommendation would be don't get hung up on arrow weight. Whatever weight arrow you can shoot accurately out to the distance that you're expecting to shoot. If you're expecting to shoot 30 yards, if you can shoot an arrow accurately, if you can drive tacks at 30 yards, that's going to be way more important than thinking about arrow weight. Because you can get a super heavy arrow, but at 45, 50 pounds, it's not going to be moving very fast. So you may have some real arc to that arrow. It may not be very forgiving. So if you're in that 350 grain range, you know, up to 400, somewhere in there, that's going to be plenty to kill an elk if you can shoot it accurately. That's the important thing. Whatever weight your arrow is that you can shoot accurately, that you feel comfortable with, 45 to 50 pounds, just understand that is light for elk. But if you take, 350 grain arrow and you hit right between the ribs on an elk at 25 yards, you're going to kill that elk.
All right, guys, once again, thank you to our buddy PJ Riley over at Lancaster Archery Supply for that answer. Speaking of PJ, he did just kill a buck here in Illinois at his buddy, the outfitter down there, as usual. But hey, it's more bucks than I've killed this year, which has been a whole whopping 0. So congratulations to PJ on a heck of a fine animal. I look forward to hearing the story from you here before too long. First at ATA show, and then we got the Lancaster Archery Classic coming up in January. So guys, if you're on the East Coast or you feel like traveling to an archery event, the Lancaster Archery Classic is the place to be. I don't have the exact date. It's like the 25th, 26th of January, somewhere around there. Excuse me for not having the exact date, but you can go to Lancaster Archery Supply website, and they've got all the information on there. I will be out there. I don't know if Todd's coming or not. I'm planning on shooting this year, so I better start practicing now. So yeah, thanks to PJ and the folks at Lancaster Archery for that. Next up, we are going to jump into trophy photos for this week. I get to select the winner all on my own, so let's do it. Chris Hopkins, Cody Grassman, Corey Fisk, Liam Kempf, Patrick Carroll, and Trevor McGill. Those were some fairly easy names for me to say. I do appreciate Cody Grassman, the Grassman there, wearing the Bowhunter Dye vintage sweatshirt. That's a good way to get your photo into the show. You wear our swag, we're more likely to put you in. Chris Hopkins, dandy buck. Look at the tines on that thing. Great buck. Liam, congratulations, my man. Your first crossbow harvest. He got himself a nice fall turkey, so congrats to Liam. Trevor, nice buck. Patrick, the vintage. He's going with the vintage like red shirt. I don't know if he hunted in that, but I don't know what he's got around his neck. Some sort of neck gaiter thing. But in the end, the winner, the man of the day, is Corey Fisk from Wisconsin with a great buck and a great photo. So congratulations to Corey. That is how we want to see it done. Whenever I kill another buck, which might not be for like another 5 years at the rate I'm going, I plan on taking a photo just like that. So congratulations to Corey. Make sure you get your information over to us, info@bowhunting.com, and we will send you some free swag from not just us, but a bunch of our partners too. Speaking of swag, and I'll end the show on this, we got the holidays coming up. Yes, we're gonna be running some Black Friday, Cyber Monday, whatever the hell deals on bowhunting.com. We're gonna have a lot of cool stuff for you to buy. But let's just say you got a bunch of bowhunting.com stuff. You're looking for something else to buy, which you shouldn't be, but if you are, I'm telling you right now, you can't go wrong with Vortex. They have got, like, our stuff's good. Their stuff's like great. Look at me. Like, I didn't even plan this. It just totally happened by accident. I'm like full on Vortex t-shirt, hoodie today. I don't have a hat on, do I, Vortex? No, it's Matthews today. But usually it's Vortex. Like, their stuff is just really good. And I don't know, they might be having sales, they might not be. But it doesn't matter. Even if you pay full price, it's the best stuff. So go buy it. But buy our stuff first and then go buy their stuff. That's all I've got. Todd will be here later today to hopefully get finished up his episode of his big buck that he shot a couple weeks ago here on his new farm in Illinois. And you'll get the full story, the good, the bad, the ugly. Let's just say Tracker John came to the rescue once again for Mr. Graff. They're gonna have to stop meeting like this, but you guys will make sure you tune in next week. We got Todd Graff, and then immediately after that, we got Tom Alford. Alford's always a character. He's always a fun time to watch. So we got a lot of fun episodes coming up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, get your notifications, hit the bell, do all that fun stuff. See you next time. Bowhunter Die.
Had a nice conversation with a gas station clerk who has a ponytail and has a fondness for grits. So,